it because there's you see this picture. So I just heard somebody yell, "Talk about it," because there's you see this picture, and you can see from the background this little black girl. Usually, that's the pedophile things. Now they didn't do. It was not the most aggressive like sensation they make. They didn't make me experience like the most aggressive reaction to it. And so I'm looking, it's like, okay, it's not going the way they usually make me experience. So I'm like, yeah, why would they how would they try to make me look at this kid? And I'm looking at this kid, I'm looking look at the shoes and whatever, the little legs, like what they gonna, like what? And they and then they try to come back, so you see how you look at this kid. It's like, no, I'm looking at how you guys can make me look at this kid in a sexual way. Look at this kid, tell me. Her sandals? These people, want you to accept this thing. So I'm like, okay, I'll talk about it. Usually, you crank a lot more than what I experienced the first time. When I look at these kids like that, especially, they crank up stimulations to a crazy, like they do so much stimulations. Today, right now, they didn't. I mean, when I experienced that the first time, I didn't get the extreme stimulation they forced me to experience. It was kind of like lowered. And so I'm looking, I was like, oh, well, they didn't like do too much. And I'm looking at this kid. I can't even look at her. I'm looking at your feet, legs. Like, it's nothing. Like, well, how would you even try to make me look at this kid in a sexual way, right? And then what they were trying to do is to be like, you see how you looked at this kid? It's like, yes, I'm looking like, what can you even make me experience looking at this kid? And this is the things they do. And then it's like, but you see how you looked at this kid's feet, this kid's legs. I'm like, you stupid. That's what they do. And they like talk about this. It's like, absolutely. Because what they want you as a target individuals is to identify with the things they do to you. I would look at this kid in every ways and not feel a single thing if it was me. What would I? Now, sometimes I can't even look at the forehead of a child because they're going to do some disturbing things. Right now, they didn't crank it up to that extent. But then they try to be like, because then I got like, oh, wow, I'm not getting anything. I'm looking like, I'm looking at the feet, I'm looking at the legs. Then they usually try to create some kind of disturbing things. Like, I'm not getting any of the nasty things they do to me. But what they just did is just like they crank it down. And then after that, they're like, oh, you see how you looking at this kid's feet? You look at this kid's legs? I was like, yes, because when I'm normal, I don't care. This thing don't faze me. Like, don't faze these things do not stimulate me in any ways. I don't get this nasty stuff that you guys do if I was me. Now, obviously, they know that, right? Their job is to break you down. They're trying to make you too acceptive of these petty things. Obviously, I don't. I know this is nasty things. Black little girls, they try to be like, no, but we match it to you when you were a kid. No, it's what you're doing to me today. I will not experience these nasty things. As I'm speaking about it now, they're going into the memory of it, and now they start cranking up things. And then they try to make you feel nervous about these things. They force a man and a woman to look at kids in these nasty pedophile ways. Sometimes they crank up this stimulation. Sometimes they minimize it. Sometimes they can make it much worse. Sometimes even a forehead could be the disgusting stimulation can be implanted. It's crazy. So you gotta understand that. And when they try to be like, oh, talk about it, like try to be condescending, I'm like, absolutely, I will talk about it. You do these things to me. Listen to what just happened to me. This is how they try to vilify you. After, this, I will never let them leave this nastiness. They are in a program that is supposed to rewire and manipulate people to accept this false reality they've created. You, as a target individual, understand that once you understand what they do, once you understand what they're part of, when you understand what this thing is about, you'll see them for what they are. This fantasy they try to create is disturbing, is what that's what they want to put together. The reality is they make you feel disturbing ways. The reason why I feel uncomfortable to look at kids is because they make me have experiences of nastiness. In some occasions, they minimize these stimulations to make it less make it not as aggressive as they could be. Those moments you kind of catch yourself like, I can't believe like I couldn't even look at this kid like this. It's like, what can they do? But in 2 seconds they can crank it up that I will be so intense I couldn't even look at this kid's forehead without getting some disturbing stimulation. You gotta be understanding of what they do. They have the ability to make you experience all kind of things. Sometimes it's extreme, sometimes it's mild, sometimes it's low. They can do all these different levels of stimulations, and it's foul. And sometimes when you get a chance that they don't crank it up all the way, you look at what you can even look normally, what you can even look without them doing this nasty thing. You're like, oh my gosh, look, what can they even do? And you like, what, this kid, what, her little sandals, like, it's so disgusting that they can do this to me. So understand what they do, and understand that that's the nasty things they do to you. And as I was listening to this recording, because you can see struggling me speaking, and that's because they're trying to trick me to say something else. What I was trying to say right before that is, when they minimize these nasty pedophilia things, you realize, like, I can't believe that these people are forcing me to experience this thing. When I look at kids, and then you look at these kids, and you're like, what the, I can't believe this, how? And you're like, what? It's like, what? And you realize that this, usually, because usually what they do is they crank up the stimulation. You couldn't even look at this kid, and you look at, I can't imagine me, where even a little girl like that, now I'm forced to like look away because they're gonna do the pedophilia things. I'm scared of that because they force me to experience stimulation. And the moment when they minimize this torture, you look at at the kids that usually they will do some nasty things to. Right, these people, they'll make me experience some nasty experience. You're like, what? I can't believe this. Then you gotta change immediately because they're gonna try to they're gonna go back and try to create some stimulations. But this is what really happened, and this is what they were like, talk about it. No, I'm not subscribing to it, and I'm not identifying it. I will have no problem talking about it, and matter of fact, I look forward to talk about it because these things they do to you, they want you to identify, and they're like, oh, but you look. It's like, yeah, I was surprised. I was not getting the nasty things that these people forced me to have, to that point where you look at the kids like, nah, when you don't get the mics, the stimulations that they force you to experience, this trash, these entities, these bottom fears that are supposed to break you down, and you're like, I can't believe this. It's like, I can't look to their little legs. What do you know how nasty they can make this happen? It's crazy. So to all my target individuals, stay strong, because they're gonna try to make you identify with these nasty things they make you experience, and it's disturbing. And then even if you don't experience that, they then try to come back up. You see how you look. I was like, yes, I was like, I can't believe I'm not getting. I can't believe I'm being forced to see this kid in these ways. Me looking at this little girl's feet or little legs, they could do so much. They could do so much to me, get some disturbing stimulations. Even my mind right now, they try to like imagine this little girl's dress being shorter, and try to make me imagine. It's disturbing things they do. So my target videos, stay strong, because that's what they do to break you down.